Hi, welcome to 8 Things. With the upcoming iPhone X release, here's some fun things you may not know about Apple. Over 700 million iPhones have been sold. There's about 7.5 billion people living on this planet. To think that over 700 million of them have iPhones? For a phone, that's quite the feat. To make it even more unbelievable, that's just the number of iPhones sold. Could you imagine how many of their products in total have been sold around the world? Apple has twice the amount of money as the US Treasury. 53.6 billion is the amount of money in the US Treasury. That means Apple has at least over $100 billion in cash. Steve Jobs really did an amazing job of creating a company that would last longer than we could even imagine. With a bank account like that, I wouldn't be surprised if he could buy the world. Would you believe that default time in almost all iPhone ads is 9:41? It's hard to believe that they would take such a random number and run with it, but it's indeed true. 9:41 seems to be Apple's favorite time of day. But here's the question, is it AM or PM? I won't leave you hanging, for it's shown to have been AM in many situations. It may seem weird, but Apple's arch rival Samsung makes the processors that power the iPhone. Kinda hypocritical, if I don't say so myself. Although I could see if they wanted to work together to try to make the best product they could. Perhaps Samsung and iPhone don't have as much of a huge rivalry as we thought they did. I bet you didn't know Apple was founded on April 1st, 1976. That's April Fool's Day. Now while you may think that the name Apple might have actually been a joke centered on the day it was founded, the company was named for solely one reason, and one reason only. Steve Jobs just really liked apples. So he decided to name his company after the popular fruit. The Apple I, the company's very first computer, was actually a do-it-yourself kit that had people build it. Could you imagine if they had to assemble the entire computer from scratch once you got it? That would be painful. If that's not enough to prove how devilish build-it-yourself computer would be, the Apple I originally sold for $666. That's pretty awkward. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates' company rivalry began in the year 1983 when Microsoft had decided against building Macintosh software in favor of their own Windows system. Windows proved to be a major competitor, and the two companies have been brawling ever since. Overall, it varies by the person on which is best personally. I've always been accustomed to Windows. The very first iPod came with a secret Easter egg, Atari Breakout. If you were to go to the About menu and hold down the center button for around 3 seconds straight, the game would appear, and you'd be able to play this game while listening to your music. This inclusion of Breakout was most likely due to the fact that both Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak worked together at Atari before creating Apple.